What's going on, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is ATX Crypto, bringing you another market pulse. Today is Friday, boys and gals, so you already know what that means. It's T.G.I.Fessions Friday. Guys, we're going to be diving into some Coinfession articles today, checking out the Bitcoin prices, checking out PulseChain prices, seeing if the PulseChain bottom is in. Today is April 26th, Friday, 2024. I hope all of y'all have a fantastic weekend coming up. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the beautiful folks who get to relax. Guys, Gwei is absolutely crazy right now. So before I really get too crazy with it, let me just show you this. 6 Gwei right now. Wild. What's also crazy about this particular situation is, for those of y'all who remember, I pulled up uh this actual item back over here when prices were actually much higher, or Gwei was much higher, and I looked at how much it would cost to end a stake. At that point in time, it was going to be roughly around $500 or something, just absolutely stupid. Now, again, this is one of the smaller stakes that I just have bleeding out, and I'll let it continue to bleed out because even right now, it doesn't really cause too much damage. But at one point in time, for me to end this stake, it was going to be something like $500. This is less than 100 B shares right here. So again, this is one of my smaller stakes that I was just using to test on these different situations. But I went to go end it right now at this 5.7 Gwei, and it only cost $39. That's after the staker fee, because again, I had this through the staker app system at the time. But crazy, guys. So if you got stakes to end over on Ethereum, and essentially if it is more than $39 to actually have a value of Hex at that point in time. So basically, essentially a T share. Okay. So if you had 10,000 Hex staked, however long you had it staked for or more, it could be a good time to end it right now, because again, as I go look at this, only $38.32, because Gwei just went down to 4.86. Absolutely crazy, guys. This is one of those situations that you 1000% should take advantage of, assuming that the Ethereum is valued at a higher value than what mine currently is. Again, I'm not going to pay this because I can go essentially still buy this on the open market right now and get a heck of a lot more Hex over on the Ethereum network because of the way the prices are set up right now. Again, the value of this current stake right now is roughly around $3. So nothing too crazy. I'm just throwing it out there to anyone who may have had some stakes ending or have ended over there. I wanted to share that because why the F not, boys and gals? Why the F not? So, neither here nor there. It's one of those fun, different situations that I like to share. So, hopefully, that helps some of y'all actually get into a better deal as well on your particular stake. Wishing everyone the maddest of gains, wishing everyone the best of luck as always, folks. So, I wanted to share that because, damn, Gwei being that cheap is stupid low, and you should 1000% take advantage of it if you can. There's no harm, no foul in this. And 7 Gwei pretty damn cheap. Looking at the Bitcoin price real quick, we got Bitcoin sitting at $63,459 at this point in time. Looks like it did go down with the PCE news. Whether that was a positive or negative for Bitcoin, neither here nor there. Again, we are waiting to see if we can get an absolute push all of a sudden. If we get this massive push going forward to end the month at 71,000, that would be absolutely freaking bullish. Why is that? Because that would be then 8 months in a row of green candles, which it has never done before. So far, we are sitting at 7 months of green candles, which again has never happened in Bitcoin's history. But we're really wanting to see if why not go for 8 and keep on making new records, make on even bigger gains. We still have yet to see Bitcoin drop more than 25 to even 30% during this bull market rally, all the way from November of 2022. So very interesting to see how this is playing out, and would love to see how we end up closing the month of April. After the halving, this is typically going to be a sell the news event, but on the Impulse MACD, this is still massively bullish. And I was looking at some charts today, and we're just gonna share them real quick because why the f not? You got the Bitcoin golden ratio multiplier, which essentially shows where the Bitcoin charts have been down below. So you can see right here, shows the daily 350-day moving average and the Bitcoin price comparing to the average multiplied by the golden ratio of 1.6 and the Fibonacci sequence, right? The 1, the 2, the 3, the 5, the 8, the 13, 21. The reason for this comparison is because these multiples have been accurate in the past, determining local highs within a cycle as well as cycle long highs. If it continues to be reliable, then the golden ratio may be of use to traders looking to determine if the market is overbought or relative to Bitcoin adoption. So you can essentially see that it had fallen out of the golden ratio during the bear market all through 2022. Really started bouncing back into the golden ratio at that point in time. So we're just going to zoom in over here and see if I can make this a little bit better. Doo-doo-doo. Well, I want to see the whole thing. There you go. All right. Well, I'll just leave it as is right here. So really crazy stuff over here because what you're seeing right here is in the past when Bitcoin was in 2011, it was reaching pretty much in the 7 cycle or even the 19 cycle peak, which again, pretty damn high. Going into the next bull market into the 2013/2014 cycle or 2013, I guess, we started reaching into the higher region once again, where we started pricing in this little 8 to 13 ratio, which I'll say 8 right here just to keep it simple. It then fell out of the golden ratio. People thought this ratio was done. It then bounced back above it, going into the next bull market rally once again, bringing us into the 3 golden ratio now at this point in time. So we are kind of playing within this 3 to 5 ratio now, going into the next one, 2021, where we actually ended up bouncing well within the 1.6 to 2, somewhere in this little region, anywhere between that little zone. So people have been saying that, law of diminishing returns and all that good stuff would mean we're probably sitting pretty close to where the market would peak this cycle. However, dude, I look at some of these numbers up at the top and I'm like $816,000 per Bitcoin. Wild stuff. And that doesn't even begin to show what actually can happen. This is a repeat chart where the price could end up going into the future as well. This is again looking at Bitcoin for now. I like using this stuff because it just means the market and crypto remains around for a long time, folks. So if you can stick around, you will win. It's just a matter of can you make it to the end at that point in time. This is a marathon, not a sprint, boys and gals. Keep that in mind. Same thing for PulseChain. We have a 26-month cycle from the time PulseChain first launched. That should have been the go date from you. Can you make it 26 months from the launch of PulseChain? And we're going to talk a little bit about that a little bit later. So stick around. And if you haven't already, be sure to push the like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. It's always much appreciated. After the Bitcoin halving, you can see we're playing in the $64,000 range. It's anticipated that going forward into the future, we pretty much, remain here. This is looking at the moving average of 200 days, but we pretty much remain within this 60K range. And then we start breaking out, damn near getting into the 80K range come the August to July timeframe. This is what could be a potential possibility going into the next all-time high, and this is showing a crazy freaking high number. $424,000 for Bitcoin in 2025. That is one of the more bullish numbers, but that's not even the actual massively top bullish number at this point in time, because this is pulling into the repeat cycle if 2021 was to play out in a similar range where we even get a double top and how that could end up working out, putting Bitcoin at $451,000 per Bitcoin. Going into the bear market, which you can see, this is showing even on the low of the bear market where Bitcoin only stops at $100,000. We're going to be looking at another chart here in a second, but that would be the new low for Bitcoin going into a bear market before the next going into the overall all-time high after the halving, where we start seeing $478,000 per Bitcoin. That's pretty crazy bullish, y'all. Pretty crazy bullish. And this is just kind of getting started because this chart right here has been pretty damn good. This is a long-term power law, which essentially To keep it simple, a resistance price above the current price. A resistance is a price above the current price. A support price is below the current price. That's pretty easy explanation there. How to interpret the chart? The price will reach $100,000 per Bitcoin no earlier than 2021, no later than 2028. After 2028, the price will never drop below $100,000. And this is essentially what this is showing. If it continues to be in this same power law that has been made and a power law that was created specifically for Bitcoin at this point in time, it's showing us essentially at 63,000 right now with a potentially high resistance level at the 340K going into 2026, where we start thinking and anticipating where prices could end up looking mad bullish overall for the ecosystem, where you start seeing the 2026 ratio or range, maybe 2025, still $456,000 per Bitcoin with an average median of 124,000, possibly even going into the 150,000 Bitcoin price with a low support line of 54,000. So that would be potentially, if this was to play out as it shows, the lowest we would ever see. So again, you can kind of see. Let me do that little chart a little better there, so that way. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? My finger just like got silly with it. Get silly with it. Nah, 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 nah. Anyways, go ahead and pull it up over here so you can see going into 2026, looking at a average median price of $146,000 per Bitcoin with a resistance support, I mean, at 53,000, where again, it just stated by 2028, assuming this was to play out, Bitcoin would never drop below $100,000 again. And that is pretty freaking crazy. Lots of interesting charts pulled up over here with Bitcoin as well. And this kind of represents era one, where the Bitcoin halving was 50 Bitcoin per block, era two being 25 Bitcoin per block, era three being 12.5 Bitcoin per block, and era four representing 6.25 Bitcoin per block, where we essentially currently are. We just had the halving, of course, as you already know. So it's now actually 3.125 Bitcoin per block. Neither here nor there. What's interesting about this, so essentially, we're entering era 5 right now. But what's interesting about this is you can see from the days of after the halving, sometimes it ends up playing roughly about 100 days for it to really start taking off. Era 1 was again a new token. There was only one token out there. It was just Bitcoin. So it went mad bullish, mad fast. You end up getting Era 2 and Era 3, where they stay relatively similar, roughly about 100 days after the halving to really start kicking off into the actual bull market. And this is essentially the way I see it actually playing out for the halving as well for Bitcoin. We're roughly around 70 to 100 days after the halving for us to really start seeing some wild freaking prices. And lastly, overall, on this last chart, this is the beautiful little rainbow chart. Y'all may have seen this before, but it kind of just shows where the prices could be going into the halving in 2028, sitting at the low of 183,000. So again, pretty damn bullish if you're talking long term, guys. This is one of those numbers that you start looking into the 2036, 2035 range and radius. They're talking about a million Bitcoin around this time. $1 million per Bitcoin at this point in time, 1.5 to be exact. Freaking crazy. Anyways, long story short, that's just where we currently are. This is what the market does, guys. You're looking at it because we see it day to day. So it's tough to get super excited about where crypto's going. But guys, crypto is growing. And I wanted to share that because as Bitcoin grows, it means the overall crypto space also grows. And if we're currently sitting at $2.25 trillion right now for what the current market cap is on the overall crypto space, including all the cryptos out there. Again, I know it doesn't include them all, but either way, neither here nor there, $2.2 trillion. What happens when we start reaching these ranges of 26 to 25 trillion dollars on the overall crypto market space? That is pretty wild, if you ask me. Even getting into the total three, excluding Bitcoin, excluding Ethereum, what happens when this number ends up reaching $5 trillion, folks? 10x higher from where we currently are on the overall grand market specs without Bitcoin and Ethereum. That is mad bullish. This is what the potential is for this cycle alone. So if you are paying attention to what we're talking about right now, we're essentially saying that by the end of this cycle, the cycle top is probably going to be roughly in this zone, in this range, in this radius. The number I'm looking at is 5 trillion. This is what I've kind of shown in the past from where I think the overall crypto market cap is going to end up going. Typically, if you look at the Fib retracement levels, 4.236 is a massive level slash massive top signal. This is usually things kind of come on up here and then come on back down. Okay, so if we end up paying attention to what we're looking at right now, this is right below the $4 trillion market cap right now on this particular Fib pull. But hell, if we get ETF approval for the Ethereum this cycle, I don't think it's going to happen in 2024. But what if it happens in 2025, going into the bull market where things are just freaking mooning? People are in profits in every token that you have. It's going to be beautiful. We have Ethereum currently sitting at $3,097 right now. So, checking out Ethereum and what it's doing on the monthly. Again, it's having a nice little red monthly candle, but on the overall grand scheme of things, it is on a nice little bullish trajectory upwards as well. So this is kind of assuming we could still play all within this range in this radius, and that would be well within reason to play anywhere between $2,000 Ethereum all the way up to $4,400 Ethereum before we actually get the breakout. Once we get that breakout, you start passing previous all-time highs, which was 48.68, which is why we got this line right here. Once you start breaking those previous all-time highs, where does the number end up going? Only time will tell, but this is kind of assuming we could potentially be seeing a high of $17,000 for Ethereum. The 3618, which I think is probably pretty likely to be hit, is showing $15,000 per Ethereum here. So, mad bullish for crypto, y'all. Mad bullish. That's, again, I know it's tough when you look at the charts every day to kind of get past where things are going, but look at where we were. We were back here. Look at overall for the total three, again, excluding Bitcoin, excluding Ethereum. Look at where we were. We were back here, folks. Where are we? We are up here again, roughly around 2.5x right now. It's tough when you look at this from the grand scheme of things to maintain that bullish behavior and bullish mindset. But I wanted to share this because unfortunately people are feeling it right now. What's crazy is we were just here, $590 billion. If you look Bitcoin on the overall chart, we were just here, 42,000, and people are losing their freaking mind right now, assuming what is going on? What's happening with the dip? Why is there a pullback? It was just 2 months ago at $43,000. So it's wild how our perception and perspective changes so rapidly. Please zoom out sometimes and just see a bigger picture and say, cool, I'm down with waiting, man. That's all I got to say on that one. I am down with waiting right now because it is looking mad bullish overall. Addy WLOs, that's the best. Hello, future multimillionaires, the RH team, 1000%. Mr. Big Payday says, Big homie, what's popping in the population? Yeah, always good shit, man. Always good stuff. Invisible Cloak Production says, Pulse chain. Yo, I feel like we should make a little Suno song today or something like that. Let me know if that's something that you want. I don't know how much time I'll have today. I gotta go make dinner for the fam here in a second, I assume. Or the wife's gonna end up making it. Who really knows for sure? But let's just kind of zoom on in and go to gopulse.com real quick. Take a little peeky weeky at where the prices are currently sitting. For PulseChain, we have the price of PulseChain sitting at 40716. Current price of PulseX sitting at 40303. Current price of the incentive token, $3.66, boys and gals. Hex over on PulseChain sitting at 8.20863. And Hex over on Ethereum sitting at 2019. This is actually a bullish move for Ethereum, Hex, to be fair, with the ratio sitting at 1 to 4.6. So pretty darn bullish, if you ask me. We actually take a little peeky weeky over here on Ethereum Hex as well. You can see that we got some prices. We got some little pumps happening. Again, just celebrate all this good stuff for everything that is. let's hide some of the drawings real fast. Zoom on in to what we actually are talking about. Get a look, get a little bit closer. So on the 9 and 15 EMA, this is actually flipping into a bullish behavior right now. Whoops, I did not. I forgot that I would actually add the drawings back on if I did that. So I think I'll just kind of use the mouse to kind of show you. But the 9 and 15 are flipping into a bullish pattern right here. We would love to see this continue to go as we have continued to make higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, and higher lows. So, how fast does it need to go? Dude, this thing can just take off within the span of a couple of days. We've seen this happen all too often. There is not that much liquidity, as a matter of fact, over on Ethereum Hex. So, if someone wanted to come in, take advantage of these really crazy Gwei prices below 10 is magnificioso. I don't know. It's magnificent, man. It's incredible. Again, 6 Gwei, dude. If you got stakes over on Hex, now is the time to go ahead and just end it. Just take care of it. Just if you got a stake that's bleeding right now, the benefit of the Hex staking system is you got 100 weeks to end it before you end up losing the entire 100% of the stake and the Hex and the interest and all of that as well. So if you have a stake that ended 1 month ago, for example, you have a 2 week grace period. After the 2 week window, every week that follows, you lose 1% of the portfolio. So if assuming it was $100 as the value of the Hex, and then at this point in time to end the stake, it was going to cost you $500. Well, that doesn't make sense to end it now, does it? No, that's a silly, dumb thing to do. But what if Gwei is so low that it only, and by the way, that stake that I showed you earlier was 3 years ago, boys and gals. So don't let that deter you. Like if you had a shorter stake, you probably going to pay less Gwei than I even showed you right there earlier in the stream. And if you missed it, go back, rewatch it. You can check it out. What's crazy about it though is as we were going back and looking at it as well for that particular stake, it was going to cost $38. If you had $100 at this time, now is the time. Say it's been bleeding out for 2 weeks now at this point in time. You've only lost 2%, assuming you had it 1 month after the stake ended, right? So your $100 now worth something like 98. And I'm just using simple round figures. We can look at the overall value of where everything was and prices and all that, but that doesn't really care. It doesn't matter to me right now. The $98 is what it's worth. To go end it right now, it costs $30 or less. It makes sense to end your stake. Now, if, like myself, you have a $4 stake and it costs $30 to end, that is still really damn cheap to end. However, I can go buy $30 worth of that on the open market right now instead of paying the Ethereum miners to pay them and make them rich. Like I can go buy myself more Hex than I could if I just ended the stake, even assuming how much stake I've earned, accrued with interest and yield as well. So I hope that makes some sense. Why do I think the bottom is in? Because these are forming beautiful charts right here. The 915 EMA finally crossing on the Ethereum Hex. We've basically hit the floor, and I called this floor back in April as well with all of my Patreon members. And I said, now is the time when I would be buying because it was at one point in time a falling knife. And I said, I don't buy like this. It don't look good to me, guys. It just don't look right. And we were kind of forming the bottom around this range. And then it started dipping a little bit more. And I said, okay, cool. It's still not quite in right now. Where's the really going to start forming? Cool. Now we're starting to see some structure again. Now we're starting to see some support. Now we're starting to see all of these levels get hit. Now the bottom is in. So I shared it with all the Patreon peeps that I'm buying Ethereum Hex, boys and gals. I've said this in the past, regardless of what's going on, because the amount that you can get right now, dude, you can get 1,000,000 Hex for $1,800 right now. That is wild. I was around when Hex was 50 cents, guys. I was around when Hex was 30 cents. I was around when Hex was 10 cents. Okay. And so when you think about some of these numbers, to be at 1,000,000 Hex at that point in time, even at 10 cents, it was going to cost you $100,000. Now let's flip the script. If you get yourself 1,000,000 Hex right now at $1,800 and it rallies up to 10 cents, that is now worth $100,000. It's the same math. It works both ways, boys and gals. So you get to really capitalize on that ability to end up getting there. Pretty damn wild. Okay, pretty damn wild. So I'm gonna take a little stab at this because these are the plays that I'm doing. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You do you, boo boo, and you take responsibility for anything at the end of the day that you decide to do, because at the end of the day, you are the person who chose to click. You are the person who chose to do any interaction with the ecosystem, period. Okay, that's out of the way. Hex over on PulseChain doing a similar thing where it is actually forming the similar situation as well. If I was to pull this up, zoom on in a little bit more, we are once again seeing higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. We're in the 20 average or 20-day moving average channel. Love seeing that. The next level to look at would be going up, which I got the camera blocking the exact thing, going up to damn near a penny before we probably are going to meet some resistance. That's one of those psychological thresholds that will be met with plenty of resistance, just because it is one of those numbers that we once believed Hex could never reach a penny. And I wasn't around back then, but that was the thought process back in the day. And then it went off to reach 56 cents. So who's to say that we are thinking too small on some of our numbers? I shared the other day, PulseChain doing a 380x, and that's on the lower side of where I think it could go, but neither here nor there. These are the numbers I'm looking at. Again, this is where I'm seeing the bottoms are starting to appear. The floors are starting to appear. Have we reached the bottom? I believe at this point in time, the bottom is in, boys and gals, from just looking at this simple TA perspective chart. Now, end of the day, a whale can come in and just absolutely obliterate everything that we're talking about, whether up or down, right? They can come in and they can drop millions of dollars, or they can sell millions of dollars, and the price is going to have an impact, of course, at that point in time. So take this with a grain of salt. This doesn't mean it's 100% certainty, guaranteed to happen, but based on where things are looking right now, we seem to have formed a pretty damn good support line around this range. We have come to test this level now a couple of times. We didn't quite hit it over here. It's tough to see because we got the Bitcoin halving or 50-week day mark right there. So it's tough to really see, but we didn't quite get there on that particular candle for the wick. But at this point in time, from what I'm seeing, folks, it looks like the bottom is in. Now, again, this is PulseChain, so I showed you where I think the prices could end up going on the simple side of things as well. Looking at PulseX, easy to see this as well. Looks like got a 3% pump happening with all of the tokens right now. We'll look at incentive token here in a second. But once again, forming those higher highs, higher lows. We did, in fact, start forming the lower lows again. It looks like it's starting to retest this pattern once more. Get back into that 20-day moving average channel that we're talking about right here. Go back up to right here, which is 4034. Probably going to play here in this little 20 average moving channel range for a little bit. But ideally, we would end up doing something like this, where we can play in this zone for a little bit. And once we actually end up breaking out of the zone, did I just move something? If I did, I don't know what I did. All right. We end up breaking out, and then we end up just, again, bouncing within and bouncing above, bouncing within, bouncing above, bouncing within, bouncing above, before we actually had the whole March 11 tweet, which, I'm not really going to get into, neither here nor there, because things are looking pretty damn good for me. In my opinion, I believe the bottom is in. Just going to call it on stream right here. We'll test it out. We'll see. I do my streams all the time, so we'll be looking at the charts regardless come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And again, folks, it is Friday, y'all. So let's just hit you with a little Friday song real quick.
It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what? It's live again, 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 it's Saturday, Sunday. You don't got your boyfriend and meet me at the hotel room. You can bring your girlfriends and meet me at the hotel room. You don't got your boyfriend and meet me at the hotel room. You can bring your girlfriends and meet me at the hotel room.
All right. So, what else we got? What else we got going on, man? What else we got? Let me actually read through the chat and then we'll do some little T.G.I.Fessions, boys and gals. Say hello to some more beautiful people. Prospector in the house. What's up, my friend? Checks my pulse. What's good? VRD Hex up and to the right soon. Facts on facts. Yep. That we gonna be hockey sticking soon, boys and gals. And it happens so fast, man. I wish I could just I wish everyone could just again use the little fast forward button, the Adam Sandler click movie, and just so you can see a little just freaking flying up. Oh man, it's gonna be glorious, but that's part of that's part of the name of the game, man. Patience is 1000% part of the game. What else we got? Still in accumulation mode. They're running out of days before. Gonna be sorry they let us acquire so much. You don't know. Facts. VRD hacks, just how most don't believe in 1 cent pulse. 1000%. Smash the like button. Appreciate that, Dose Easy. Now, market sentiment is 100x from the bottom. Foolishness. The market sentiment is 100x from the bottom. Foolishness, dude. It's gonna be wild either way. At the same time, you get to make so much money on. I mean, dude, if I got to tell you that you were gonna be a millionaire and you had $5,000 invested, I don't know. I'm just throwing out a number, but it would have to take you 4.5 years to get there. Most of y'all would say, shit, I would take that in a fucking heartbeat. Because you're making at your job somewhere anywhere between $50,000 to $150,000 a year. On average, if you just break that down, looking at the $100,000 a year, it would take you 10 years working every day, not spending a single dime for you to accumulate that amount of wealth. However, we know that as you work, you spend. So it would take you longer. Do the same thing if you're only making 50,000. It would take you 20 years to be able to get there. We're talking about 4.5 years to potentially turn something into nothing, or some nothing into something, I guess would be the better way of saying it. Yeah, I need to find a way. Yeah, we'll do a little Friday Toad song. It is Friday, my dudes. ATX, that was wild stuff the other day with the AI music. Yeah, dude, I'm a big fan of the AI music, man. If y'all haven't seen that already, go check out the last week's stream I did with my boy Westcott. We did the Pulse Nation stream. And ooh, man, that was fire, dude. I got so many messages from so many individuals. Thank you so much for all the messages. It warms my heart whenever I see that stuff get used. I'm a big proponent and fan of the AI system in general. So whenever I got messages talking about I made friends, I made music with this, and I did this, and I shared it to my wife, and I shared it to my friends, and I made a song about my dog, and I made this, and I did this. Man, incredible. And you give the friends I didn't even know you can make music like that. And you're like, I did, and AI did it in like 3 minutes. You're like, what? Then you get to show them, and then it just continues on, and the cycle continues. All righty, boys and gals, we're gonna dive into a little T.G.I.Fessions. Okay. So we got some Coinfessions coming on as well. And some of the crazier things that you end up hearing, my guys, some of the absolutely crazy things that you see. These are always just fun to read. These are all just kind of giving you a little bit of a different perspective on that kind of stuff as well. So I'm looking at some recent ones just to keep it simple. I've gone back and looked at some old ones and they're absolutely incredible to go see. So if y'all haven't checked out this channel as well worth the follow. But it says follow the guy on his channel. I lost $55,000. Whatever trade I do from his advice goes the opposite way. I feel like this happens in crypto far too often, and you got a lot of individuals who share a particular token. I think we've seen that quite a bit, especially recently, where they share a token. Everyone and their mother starts talking about it, but they were early in it, or they were a pre-seed investor, or they were buddies with the dev, or whatever the reason is to however they ended up getting their tokens in the beginning. Everyone starts getting so excited about it. Oh my God, this thing's going crazy. It's already done a 2x. It's done a 5x. Wow. And then it just fucking tanks. And then you see it drop 60, 70, 80% with a very tough time to end up recovering. I work in big tech. Every time I get stuck, so be careful who you listen to, right? Keep it simple. At the same time, like whatever you do, just keep it simple, man. I work in big tech. Every time I get stuck, sell them right away to buy more Bitcoin. I will keep doing this until my company adds Bitcoin in some form to the balance sheet. I'm surprised they don't pay out people in Bitcoin. I know we have NFL players and other pro athletes now getting a portion of their contract in crypto. How crazy is that? Now, again, they're doing it in one of the bigger market cap cryptos, but what if they took a little bit more risk and said, I want to do it in something that I have full faith and confidence in the fidelities and abilities of Sir Richard Hart Wynn, PulseChain, wild stuff. Turned 9,000 into 23,000, but still managed to get liquidated. Boo. Turned 9,000 into 23,000 by longing meme coins in less than a week. Wow, that's incredible. That's an incredible move. This happens all the freaking time. The other thing that you have to hear about something like this is as people make these plays, they think they can do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. It continues to happen. But let's just read the rest of this and see what they said. Turned 9,000 into 23,000 by longing meme coins in less than a week, but still managed to get liquidated because I couldn't stop trading and just take the profits and move them to a different account. Happens every time. Lost everything in the huge dump after Bitcoin hitting 69,000 and going down to 58,000. That was all my cash, and now I'm depressed. Well, damn. Yeah, Jamal says that's a Hex insider cabal. Never trust him. I'll let you say it. I learned so much from you guys. Appreciate that, Tam Tam. Much love, fam. Hold up. All right. Lost 60K in crypto 2021. Negative balance in the bank. Max credit card limit. Depressed. Left the Web3 space. Gave crypto one more chance. And all in my bank balance this bull cycle because I saw this opportunity. Up 6 figures and on route for 7 by the end of the year. I'm so happy when I hear people make money like that. Please put something in the bank. Learn your lesson at this point in time. You've done well. You have done good, depending upon how much you started with your initial investment and turned into the 6 figures. Would love to hear. If it starts out at 90,000 and it goes to 110, I don't know. You didn't really do that crazy, in my opinion. But if you started out at 1,000 and it's up 6 figures, fucking grats, man. You know, put some of that in the bank. Everyone gets so greedy. And the downside to this particular individual is they're going to wait for 7 figures. Okay. So they're going to be sitting on a portfolio of like fucking 600, 700, $900,000 thinking, I'm so close to $1 million. Why would I sell? I'm so close to $1 million. Why would I sell? And then it just tanks. And then their 900 turns into 6, turns into 3, turns into 100. And they're like, oh my gosh, I had so much and now I only have 100,000 and it's basically what I started with. And oh my gosh. Do not let greed get to you. Please understand this. Get control of your emotions or your emotions will control you. I'm 27, only got into crypto in January, turned $1,500 into $300,000 so far, but I lost 14,000 in my first few weeks. I see everyone making money on meme coins, and I wonder if I'm just lucky and I should cash out before everything crashes. This is what I'm saying. Like, this particular individual is going to be one of those people that have to round trip a thing. It's so freaking crazy because they put a number in their head and they say, dude, if I just do another 3x, I've already let me just see how much that is already real quick. I've already done a 200x. What's another 3x? Every time. Every single time. We'll even say 3.5x just to keep it simple, to make it a flat $1 million. But they say this every single time. Hopefully they cash out something, man. I like, you did so good. Why? I don't know, man. I've learned my lesson. I've been in those boats before and I'm not a fan of it. I've now learned how to take profits, when to take profits, better methods to take profits, different strategies to take profits. And again, I share this with all the Patreon peeps as well. I'm about to be 27. I have half a Bitcoin, but my crypto portfolio totals over 1.2 Bitcoin. Literally just quit my dishwasher job, and honestly, I never had this much money in my life. So they have roughly around $60,000. I still consider myself poor and vagrant with only $10,000 cash shoebox in my crypto holdings. I don't think it's worth quitting your job over that. It's not like enough to be able to live on, for like the rest of your life or whatever. But dude, if you want to take a little break and have some fun, by all means, do it. But I would definitely not quit with $60,000. It just, even if that's the most money that you've ever had in your savings or in your life before, people are silly, man. People are absolutely silly. I feel like there's a lot of Hexicans that did this too. Unfortunate. I got over $1,000 in a token for free because I talked shit about it in a Telegram, and random people responded to my messages giving me more. I accidentally sold it at the top. I don't know if you can say accidentally. Congrats, my G. That's freaking awesome. I paid for 1 month of Pornhub Premium with Dogecoin 4 years ago. I still to this day have full access to it, and PH has yet to disable my access. That's funny, man. That's funny. What's up, Marcus? How you doing, my G? J-Pon, what's up? I bought 10 Ethereum worth of sappy seals in July of 2020. I trusted myself instead of influencers. I'd have bought pudgy if I trusted myself instead of influencers. I'd have bought pudgy penguins. Well, I don't know how either of those tokens did, and I assume there's some listed on CoinGecko, and yet PulseChain is anyways. Let's just take a little gander real fast. Sappy seals. What happened with the sappy seals token? I'm always curious whenever I start reading these little articles on stuff like this. Max. Why is it pricing everything out in Ethereum? Is it because it's in Ethereum? Interesting. Well, okay, so they bought it in July of 2022. So, okay, don't even go back to July of 2022. Interesting. Well, essentially right now, Sappy Seals is roughly around the same level that it probably was in July of 2022 is my guess. And so he basically didn't make any money. And of course, it's always I would have done something different had I just done it myself. If I had known that things were going to work out like this, I would have done it differently every single time. Learn to take accountability to this shit, man. I'm genuinely not ready to become a laughing stock that fails. I've been buying Duck token thinking it will be the next Doge. I have no job. 1,500 in my bank. It's been 20 months and that coin is not moving whilst other shit coins are flying. I even told my family about it, and I'm genuinely not ready to become a laughing stock if this fails. Oh, man. That's brutal. Lost my life savings getting rugged on Solana shitcoins. Don't believe the hype. Dude, this right there. That right, it should say it all, dude. It all the freaking time. All the freaking time. Well, I mean, you're saying like dishwasher guy was probably making less than $25,000 a year. I don't know about that. I mean, like I think even fucking standard minimum wage job working 40 hours a week. Let me just do some fun math real quick just to kind of see something. I mean, shit, you might be right. You might be right. You might be right. But either way, I don't know, man. People do it too soon. People quit too soon all the time. We live in a society where, again, you don't want to work. And I get that being a slave wave, being a cuck wage. I get it. I get it. I get it. There's a reason why so many just want that life out and want the escape, and they jump as soon as they can. Just be smart about it. Make a plan. Understand why you're doing what you're doing, what you're doing, what you're doing. He told his mom about Duck. Yeah, dude, I can't imagine trying to shill a fucking meme coin to family/friends. Like friends, I get. Friends, you're like, dude, we're gonna be rich together. Let's fucking do it, right? Like all the time. That's just what it is. And then you end up getting into the family portion of it. Like, damn, dude, I don't know what you were thinking. My wife and I both make good money, but she's been saving for retirement and kids' college longer than me. I feel bad about that. I've been stacking Bitcoin for a few years, and I am grateful for the ability to catch up in a shorter time frame and do my part as well. Hopefully, you just don't cash out. I made 40K from 20K past few months. Been in crypto 3 years. First time it feels like I'm winning. Yet I feel like I don't care anymore. Damn. I got rug. Lost my $20,000 army reenlistment bonus on a shit coin. Well, keep your head down, man. Fucking make it out of there. God damn. It's really hard watching all these people make life-changing money off meme coins. I live with my parents, and I feel like it's really hard watching all these people make life-changing money off meme coins while I'm just hoping to at least make $100,000 by the end of the bull run. I work for a really small amount of money, and it sucks watching everyone around me make 50 years of my wages in a couple of days off a fucking meme coin. And this is what causes people to go participate in meme coins. It's like this right here, that feeling, the emotion, the FOMO, right? Fear of missing out, as you call it, or as it were, is what causes people to go join and go get fucking rugged because they're like, dude, I'm already so late to all of these other tokens. I need to get in the next token that's brand new that just comes out that no one knows about, so I can get in early because I hear that if you're early, you make all the money. Get rugged, and then they're out. I've been 8 months and what? It's been 8 months and I've no money, made it from $600 to 38,000 just by trading on spot. A friend introduced me to futures and I lost it all in a short span of time. I have no savings left, barely earning anything just to feed myself. It hurts so much that I can't participate in this bull run. My dreams are shattered and life is going downhill. I feel the pain there, but go get a higher paying job and then you'll have a little bit of extra cash that you can start putting to the side. Like everyone wants to go make it this cycle. And I get it. Again, we just talked about it. I get it. But if it took you 8 years to be able to retire yourself, you're doing it faster than damn near everybody else in your life. But because you watch people do it faster than you compare yourself against that as well. And comparison is devil's playground. It's where bad things can really happen. I had 40 Bitcoin on Alphabet. It got seized by the government. Still think about it daily. Dude, that's so gay. That's so freaking gay. That's ugh. The government seizing crypto and then they go spin the crypto. They go sell it like it's theirs. Oh, that irks me so much, man. So much. So feel your pain. Definitely sucks. It's always one of those because the prices are what it is. It hurts even more. But like if the prices were, I don't know, at let's just say $5,000 right now, and you had it. I don't know when Alphabet happened. I don't remember when that whole seize happened. I think it was 2016. When did Alphabet get seized? Whoop, type. When was it? When was it? Let's just see if we can pull up some data. July of 2017. Okay, cool. So you start looking at like what prices were at that point in time, right? That's one of those fun things to do. You say, well, I mean, it wouldn't hurt so much if, Bitcoin was back at the levels back in 2017. Now, again, I get it. Like, I'm all with you, but like if you're back here and you're like, oh, well, we're back at $1,000 again. So, well, either you lost it or you just rebought it, whichever way you ended up doing it. But at the same time, you're like, well, I don't really care. It wasn't even that much. I'm glad I didn't hold it because I would have held it all the way through here and I wouldn't have sold and I would have held it all the way through here and like all these different roller coasters of emotions. But because the prices are sitting where they are right now, it's tough. It's easy to look at that and say hindsight 2020. Damn, dude, I could be having X amount of money, right? Like that's plenty of money right there. Don't get me wrong. Times 60,000, I'll just say $2.4 million. You look at that and you're like, oh man, that would have been nice. But that isn't the end. And everyone acts like it's the end. But people are just now getting in and they're about to make a whole lot of fucking money. A whole lot of money. Just getting in right now today. Yeah, you've known about it since 2017. What have you been doing? Have you not bought back in at all? Like some of these are hilarious posts that I see and read sometimes, but that's why I pull them up. I avoided losing everything in Celsius 2022. Now there's threat of a retail clawback lawsuit for that entire amount after taxes and other expenses. I've lost half of what I got out. Feeling so broke. Yeah, the clawback in cryptos, that's a retarded thing too. It's a silly thing. Whenever I see a crypto up, whenever I see a poll on crypto Twitter, I always pick the contrary view to what I'm feeling. There you go. Cool. Ooh, you're such a rebel. You're such a rebel. Whoa. Where do they collect those Coinfessions from? Or are they made up stories? No, you can actually go on Coinfessions. If like, I mean, sure, some of them are made up for sure, but a lot of the times you can actually come on in here and just submit it anonymously through a little Google form, right? You can actually come in here and be like, I was 18, I had this much money, I did this much money, you know? It's a place where you can go in and anonymously say stuff. People have actually done so on PulseChain as well. And as a matter of fact, you can probably end up finding, I don't think I'm going to find it if I just type in PulseChain now, because there's not anything on like the most recent pages over here, but if I do a little search on like Coinfessions and this whole page, people have actually discussed PulseChain and like the fact that they've waited multiple years and the fact that all this stuff has happened. And you look at it and you're like, yeah, it's fucking true. I liquidated my account for 3 years straight. I think I already read that one last week. Let me just kind of scroll on through. Let's just get to some new shit down below real fast, and we'll be wrapping up this stream. I made $1 million in crypto before I got a girlfriend. I'm 38. Okay, cool. I've been longing blindly every time a bullish Twitter account tells me to buy. I've turned 10,000 into 650,000. So it's like the opposite of how he started. You had the person who lost $55,000 because they basically did everything that people on the trading post would say to do. And anyways, I just lost $3,000 with trading in 6 hours. Jumped from 2.2 to $400 and then to 3K. Lost it all. In the end, I couldn't find the point to stop. Was my last money, and I feel fucking retarded, and I'm wasted, and I don't know what to do. I feel empty, like, and I'm moron at the same time. Tried to panic sell all my crypto at the bottom of the Bitcoin all-time high dump yesterday, but the Coinbase transaction failed. Thank you, Brian. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. Oh my gosh, you didn't get it. And then you like, that was, when was this? April 6th? Dude, I love looking at these prices. I love looking at charts because they've already fixed that issue as well. So it's like, well, let's just pull up some fun, pull up the daily. April 6th. Well, I'm sure we were higher because it was a new month as well. But April 6th, where were we? April 6th. April 6th. Boom. 68,000. It's 62 right now, but it's been, okay, this is April 6th, mind you, right? Could have sold, didn't sell because Coinbase had their issue. Did you sell here when it was higher? Did you sell here when it was higher? Did you sell here when it was higher? Or did you sell here or here before it dropped? Like you had 5 days after this whole Coinbase thing. Quit bitching. But people love to bitch, man. One of the favorite things to do. One of the favorite things to do. Anyways, hopefully that helps answer some of the questions. Gives y'all some perspective on different outlooks. I love doing the T.G.I.Fessions because this is something that I get a lot of enjoyment out of. I get to kind of share my thoughts, my input, my opinions as to different plays, perspectives, and strategies. So that way you don't end up in the situation. Guys, you can learn from the mistakes of others. You do not have to make the mistakes yourself. So whenever I hear these stories of I had X amount of money and I lost it all, or I did this and I lost it all, or got into trading futures and options and lost it all, or did this and lost it all, like it just keeps my mind grounded to say I don't need to do that shit. And you don't either. Hold the crypto long term and fucking win. Put in something that has long-term market value that's going to be here going forward into the future. And let's go into the bull cycle of 2024, 2025, possibly even 2026. This is many things and many places that you can get it done. But at the end of the day, folks, we've talked about this. You got to make that decision for yourself. You have to be the person who says, I got this. And at the end of the day, folks, I hope everyone has a wonderful afternoon, wonderful evening, wonderful weekend. I'll catch you on the Pulse Nation stream tomorrow or Sunday. And as always, stay safe, stay positive. Peace.
I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head